Hello, my friend. Karl Michael Pilsl is here, and I welcome you to this second edition of the KMP Leadership Podcast. I'm very excited that you came back to join me as we talk about the very important subject of distractions in this episode. But don't miss the first episode. If you didn't get the first episode where we talked about greatness and how a leader, every leader, should strive for greatness, strive for significance, and how someone becomes truly great and what greatness isn't, I encourage you to go back and either listen to it or watch it for the first time or do it again. Like I said, today we'll talk about distractions. And one of the greatest enemies of all people, really, but especially for us leaders, is distractions. We get so easily distracted. We get so easily sidetracked, especially in today's world of social media and technology and all the advances. It's really overwhelming, all the impulses and all the information and all the distractions coming our way. Most people, and this is the sad truth, the sad reality of life, most people live totally distracted lives. Almost like their whole life is distracted. For a leader, it is a big problem. For a leader, it's a big challenge because distractions can really take us off the course, and get our focus away from that what is really important. See, leaders must be focused. Focus is the great friend of every leader. If a leader is focused, there's no telling what can happen, what can be accomplished if a leader focuses the energy, all the talents, all the gifts, all the resources in the right direction. If focus is applied in the right direction, a leader can really conquer very much and accomplish very much with her or his life. So leaders must be focused. And distractions come so easy. You know it, I know it, we all know it, that our days and our weeks are full of distractions in our life. So if we don't watch it, we get distracted and sidetracked, and of course, so easily. And that can be deadly. That can be deadly to the leader and can be detrimental to the team, the organization, the company. So let's watch our distractions. Let's recognize the distractions and learn today how we can conquer them and how we can stay focused in the process. Let me ask you a question. What do the social media platforms want from you? What does Facebook want from you? What does Instagram want from you? What does Twitter want from you? And I'm not saying all this is negative, but listen to this. They want your attention. They want your focus. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and all the other social media platforms are really in business to get our attention. And the more attention they get from people, and especially from leaders, the more they are making money. And that's really what they want. They want to make money. They are in it to make a profit. And the currency for making profit is attention. So they want your attention. They want my attention. And by getting our attention, especially the higher up in leadership we are, the more they profit from that attention. What does advertising want from you? What does television want from you? What does the internet want from you? What does advertising want from you? They want your attention. They want our attention. They want our focus. But if we give the attention to them, we don't give the attention to our vision, to our company, to our church, to our team, to what we are trying to win in. See, if you want to win in life, if you want to be a great leader, you have to manage your distractions. Distractions come upon all of us. You know, it could be a phone ringing or an email popping up or a push notification from WhatsApp or Messenger or any of those things. But if we don't control what gets our attention, it will control us. Distractions will dominate our lives, and this can never be. See, a leader is responsible to give the vision, to present the vision, and to make sure the focus is in the right and proper direction, and the attention is upon the right things. See, I want my people, my employees, my team, my volunteers, I'm a pastor, I want the attention of the people to be upon what needs to happen. I want the attention to be upon the main thing, and that the main thing stays the main thing. The more distractions we have in a church, in a business, in a company, in a network marketing company or organization, whatever you are into, the more distractions there are, the less will be accomplished, and the more the organization will suffer. So I want you to realize that everything is out to get your attention. There is a fight out there for your attention. So that's the reality. So, and, human nature hasn't changed. We have always been, easily distracted. But what has changed is the possibilities, the limitless things coming our way, the distractions, the information. See, I haven't gotten faster. Actually, the longer I live, the little slower I get. I mean, I'm getting a little bit older, so human beings are not getting really faster, but everything around us, the speed is out of this world in all reality, and it will pull on us and try to distract us and sidetrack us and get our focus away almost in seconds, in minutes, hours. And every day we have this great fight for our attention, and our enemy is distraction. So we need to learn to manage our focus. We need to learn to manage the distractions, because the great problem is distractions can dominate our lives. See, we can win in life and we can win in leadership if we realize one thing: there is a fight for our attention. And I have a question for you in this episode, and I want you to be honest. What has your attention? I know you have a vision. I know you may be a leader of a company, or you may be a leader of a network marketing organization. You may even be a pastor watching this. And you know your attention needs to be upon your thing, your vision, your calling. Whatever it is that you're trying to accomplish, that's where your attention and focus needs to be, because what you focus on grows. Where your attention is, that will expand. So, but where is your attention really? What has your attention? As a pastor, sometimes people get my attention, and I love people, but I believe I love all people, really do. And we walk in love, and we try to do the best for people we can, but we cannot let everybody who hollers or says, hey, here I am, get our attention. Our core team needs to get our most attention. You know, I invest into leaders and they invest into other people. So the truth is, as a leader, as a company owner, as a pastor, I cannot give the same amount of attention to everybody. I have to focus on the key people. And sometimes, especially as a pastor, I get distracted, or I used to get really distracted, not by unimportant people, because everybody is important, but sometimes it's unimportant things or things that somebody else in the team, in the leadership team, or in the church can do the same or even better. So I gotta make sure I'm not distracted from that which matters most. Even Jesus didn't treat everyone the same. He had 12 disciples, but there was 3 of them, Peter, James, and John, that he's actually spent more time with than the rest of them, the other 9. More time. He gave them special treatment. And that's okay because he invested into them. And then after the 12, there was 70. And then there was the crowd. And Jesus always did good, but he could not treat everybody the same way. He could not give the same attention and focus to everyone. And there was much distraction in his life as well. But evidently, he managed the distractions well, because what he accomplished in 3.5 years, oh my gosh, we are still sitting here 2,000 years later, and he has the greatest following of anybody ever. 2 billion people or more living now that follow him or say that follow him. So we must manage distractions. We must manage who gets our attention or what gets our attention. Some things we have to ignore. Leaders know what to ignore. Leaders know what not to pay attention to. This is very important, that you realize one of the keys to success in leadership is learning to ignore what needs to be ignored and pay attention to what needs to be paid attention to, and to focus on what needs to be focused on. It's very, very, very important. The important truth is, if you don't watch the direction you are going, you will end up at a place you did not want to arrive at. And to go into a direction that you want, you have to make sure the focus is right. You have to make sure you're looking in the right direction. You have to make sure you're not looking to the left or to the right too much, or even in the rearview mirror too much. It's good to look in the back sometimes. It's good to watch left and right to some degree, but it's important to focus to where you are actually going. It's very, very, very important that you realize, that we as leaders realize that there is an enemy. And that enemy, we have many enemies as leaders. I'm not talking about people necessarily, though you may have some, probably do. You probably do have some human enemies. They don't like you, they're against you, they're fighting you. But I'm actually talking about the enemy of distraction. Distractions, actually, because it's so many things coming our way. So it's key to realize that we have this enemy, and distractions turn us into slaves. Very interesting to note is that the distractions is actually the domain of the rich. And you say, well, I'm not really that rich. Hey, if you have a television at home, and you have a heating system at home, and you may even have an air conditioner at home, but if you have a telephone and a smartphone, you are rich. Man, you are rich. You really are rich. I'm talking about the rest of the world that is poor. And you know what? they don't fight distractions. You know why? Because their focus is on survival. They have to make sure that there's food on the table today, that their children don't starve. So the poor people in the third world countries, I'm talking about the really poor, they don't deal with distractions the way we do in this modern world, in the Western world. Distractions is the domain of the rich because we can afford a television. We can afford a smartphone. We can afford, living like we do. But the poor, they are just fighting every day to survive, so they're not distracted. Their focus is the next meal. The focus is, making sure their kids have something to eat. And this is a danger in our modern world. And the higher we go up, the more prosperous we are, the greater potential for distractions there actually is. And I want to throw in something really quick before I give you 3 things to take away. And this is the 5 levels of change. And I kind of stole, we all take stuff from other great speakers, but I got this from a pastor in Tulsa, Oklahoma. His name is Whitney George. And I don't know if he came up with this, but he may have copied it or stole it from somebody else. I don't know. But I got this from him. It's called the 5 levels of change. The first step is awareness. You become aware of something. Aware of something that needs to change. Aware of a problem. Level number 2 is you ponder. You think about it. You begin to ponder what you became aware of. This is a good thinking process. See, leaders ponder. Leaders think. Leaders are aware. They ponder. Level number 3 is you begin to value it. Okay? And then, number 4 is you begin to prioritize it. It becomes a priority. And then number 5, you own it. Let me repeat. Level 1, awareness. Level 2, pondering. Level 3, you begin to value it. Great when you value something. Then you make it a priority. And then you finally own it. But here's the thing. Between level 3 and level 4, between valuing it and making it a priority is a gap. A big gap. And you know what that gap is called? Distraction. Let me give you an example. Do you value good eating, a diet, healthy eating? I do. Do you value exercise? Yeah, I do, But do we always eat right? And do we always exercise the way we should? You may. I don't. I value it. I like to live it. But many people value it, but they don't at all exercise. They don't at all eat right, or hardly. So what's the problem? They value it, but they haven't prioritized it because we get distracted. We set a goal, a New Year's resolution. I'm going to lose weight. I'm going to read, through the whole Bible this year, or I'm going to read a book every month. And it goes well a few days, but then we get out of it. Why? Distraction. It's not that you don't value it, but you get distracted. And that's why it's not a priority, because if it's a priority, it will be on your calendar every day. And that makes the big difference. So awareness, pondering, valuing it, prioritizing it, and owning it. And between 3 and 4 is that danger of distraction. Okay? So, what do you need to change? Make sure it becomes a priority and that you begin to own it. Now, in closing of this leadership podcast, I want to give you three things very quick to take away from this podcast. Number one, understand. You have to understand that you are in a fight. You must understand this. Understand you are in a fight. As a leader, we are in a fight. We're in a fight for attention. What gets our attention? Where do we give our attention? What do we give our attention to? Where do we place our focus? It's a fight. You know life is a fight. It's not all easy. You know that. You're a leader. We know life is tough. So we have to understand that if we let distractions get the best of us, we will lose. And life will get harder, actually. Life will get even harder if we let distractions determine our lives or possess our life or determine our life. So understand that you're in a fight. Number two, slow down. Slowing down is very important. Have times where you turn it all off. Turn off the computer, turn off the smartphone. It's not so smart after all. Turn it off. Turn off, the television. Turn off and just get alone. Slow down. There's a guy in Germany, he says, if you're in a hurry, move slowly. And that's so much wisdom. If you're in a hurry, move slowly. I think that's not always true, but more often than we realize that if we really want to get something done, we have to slow down, think, and charge up the batteries again and get back in the game. Slow down, turn off regularly. Take time to be quiet and silent. And number three, fix your thoughts. Fix your thoughts. Focus on important things. Focus on main things. And wisdom means to know the difference. I will do a leadership podcast on wisdom actually very soon. And wisdom is the ability to know the difference. It's discernment. What's important, what is not. Where do I need to step in? Where do I not to step in? As a pastor, I need to know that all the time. Where do I get involved? Where do I not get involved? And what is main thing and what is not important and what is not a main thing at all? What is a distraction? Understand that you're in a fight. Slow down and fix your thoughts. And I'm so glad you spent this time with me on the subject, the very important subject of distractions. And if you like this content, please share it wherever you can, on social media or wherever we are on. I don't even know actually where we're on, all the places. But share it, give a feedback, give a like, give what do you call it? Just that you say, hey, this is a good thing, a review it's called. Give a review. So if you do that, I'd be really happy because I want to share important content, very important truths with you and with thousands and thousands of people around the world. I'll see you next time for leadership episode number 3.